What if I told you that, according to whispers, Harry's very name doesn't even appear on his own daughter's birth certificate? That's right. Rumors claim that when little Lilibet's form went to print, instead of Henry Charles Albert David Mountbatten Windsor, it simply reads the Duke of Sussex as her father's first name and His Royal Highness as her surname. Imagine opening your child's most critical legal document and finding your own identity erased. No given name, just a title. It sounds almost too wild to be true, and that's because at this stage, it remains unverified gossip. But if there's even a sliver of truth here, it could change everything. Next, we'll dive into what the certificate itself really shows. In 2021, when little Lilibet Diana was born at Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital, her birth certificate revealed something unexpected. Instead of listing Henry Charles Albert David Mountbatten Windsor as her father's legal name, it recorded the Duke of Sussex as his first name and His Royal Highness as his surname. Meghan, meanwhile, used her full legal name, Rachel Meghan Markle, exactly as California law requires. Contrast that with Archie's May 2019 certificate, which clearly read His Royal Highness Henry Charles Albert David Duke of Sussex for Harry and Rachel Meghan Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex for Meghan. That stark difference sets the stage for real-world complications. Next, we'll explore how omitting a legal given name collides with both British and Californian rules. Rewind to May 2019, when Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor made his debut. His California certificate left no doubt about Harry's true identity. It recorded him as His Royal Highness Henry Charles Albert David Duke of Sussex, complete with both his given names and royal title. Meghan appeared as Rachel Meghan Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. Fast forward 2 years, and Lilibet's entry erases Harry's given names entirely, replacing them only with his title. When your first child's paperwork acknowledges who you are, and your second child's erases you from the record, it demands an explanation. Next, we'll unpack the legal rules that govern what must appear on a birth certificate. Here's why you can't simply substitute a royal styling for your birth name on a vital record. California law requires that each name field reflect a person's legal name as recognized by government agencies. Honorifics or courtesy titles cannot replace a given name without court action. Across the pond, British registration guidelines mandate that a birth certificate list a parent's true given and family names. Titles may accompany but cannot supplant those names. When you mix styling and substance entering only Duke of Sussex instead of Prince Henry Charles Albert David, you collide head-on with both sets of regulation. Next, we'll see how that collision translated into months-long passport delays. Months of holdups at the passport office. Was it really just technical issues? After applying for British passports for Archie and Lilibet that included their HRH titles, Harry and Meghan endured nearly 6 months of unexplained delays, far beyond the standard 3-week wait. Even a 24-hour expedited appointment was cancelled at the last minute due to a systems failure. Frustrated, their lawyers threatened a data subject access request under GDPR to uncover internal communications, and only days later were the passports finally issued. These roadblocks hint at a deeper clash over royal styling versus legal naming. But was this tangled mess a deliberate move by Meghan, or just administrative bungling? Next, we'll weigh whether there's method behind the madness. On one hand, this could be the result of a well-meaning clerk misinterpreting how to record a royal parent's name, but on the other, some insiders argue it smacks of deliberate strategy. PolitiFact confirms that Lilibet's California certificate indeed lists only the Duke of Sussex in place of Harry's given names, with no mention of Henry Charles Albert David. At the same time, Harry's team felt compelled to threaten GDPR action just to see passport office emails, suggesting they suspected something more than a simple error. Next, we'll look at the very real consequences flowing from this paperwork puzzle. This isn't just paperwork, it's power. When a father's legal name is missing from a birth certificate, he must later undergo a formal paternity establishment process before he can petition for custody or visitation, often needing a court judgment or voluntary declaration of parentage before the child turns 18. Amending a certificate to add a second parent requires that same court-backed proof of parentage, meaning any delay or omission can leave a father scrambling through legal channels just to be recognized on paper. Travel and emergency medical decisions hinge on clear parental rights too. Without a finalized custody order or the other parent's written consent, moving a child out of state or even routine treatment can be legally prohibited, forcing frantic last-minute notarizations or court petitions to avoid being stopped at the airport. Across the pond, UK, courts grant primary carer status based on the child's best interests, not gender, but being named on the birth certificate strengthens any father's claim. Conversely, omissions can tip the scales toward the mother by default. Next, we'll ask the deeper question of what this really reveals about control and identity. Behind the scenes, there's talk of a quiet re-registration process that few know about. Sources suggest that once the error was flagged, Meghan's team quietly initiated a legal petition to amend Lilibet's birth record, submitting sworn affidavits, notarized declarations, and even court filings that never made headlines. By the time the amended certificate emerged, most media eyes were still glued to outrage over title usage, not the fact that a California court had just weighed in on a royal birth. It's the kind of bureaucratic maneuver that flies under the radar but reshapes destinies long term. And by then, the original 6-month delay had become history, conveniently forgotten by the general public. Meanwhile, tabloid outrage over Meghan's alleged title grab served as the perfect smokescreen. Every op-ed screamed about her HRH hustle and royal etiquette gone rogue, while hardly a whisper questioned why a high-profile family would allow a legal name to vanish in the first place. It's a classic distraction. Stir up the masses with flashy outrages and slip through crucial legal changes unnoticed. If you thought the Sussexes' public feud was just about protocol or personality clashes, consider this. Behind every sensational headline may lie a subtler struggle for control, fought not on global stages but in dusty county clerks' offices and sealed courtrooms. Ultimately, this saga isn't just about a line on a form, it's a masterclass in family power dynamics. A simple birth certificate, meant to record the start of a life, has quietly reshaped who holds power in a family once defined by crowns and protocols. Harry may still use prince in public, but on paper, where it matters, his presence has been blurred. Meanwhile, Meghan wields influence not through palace decree but by strategically commanding the most ordinary of instruments, a pen and a vital record. So here's the question for you. In a world where titles can be inherited, what truly anchors our rights and identities? The glitter of a royal style or the plain text on official documents? If you thought royal drama was all about tiaras and palaces, think again. Sometimes true power lies in the fine print. If this blew your mind, hit subscribe and ring that bell, because next week, we're uncovering another hidden front in the Sussex saga that could change everything you thought you knew.